Thanks for accepting the invitation to participate in this interview. My name is Naira. I'm in 8th grade. In school, we're doing a research project where we have to interview people. My investigation topic is the role of social media in young people's life. Mm-hmm. The purpose of this interview is to hear your perspective on the topic from your experience of working with social media. Another purpose of this interview is to learn more about this topic and to learn how to make an interview. I have around 8 questions that I would like to ask you, and I expect it would take around 20 minutes. Is that okay with you?
It's perfect. We can start whenever you want.
Okay. Could you please tell us your name and how your work has been related to social media?
Yes, I can. My name is Verónica Cuello, and I studied visual arts. I started working mostly with audiovisual, like editing and script writing, but somehow I also ended involved in social media. So I started working with Pataleta, for example, managing the social media. My job was to develop a monthly calendar to decide which pieces we should share either on either on Facebook or Instagram to expose the projects and show what Pataleta does. On the other hand, I'm working now for Twitter, managing some content.
Interesting. And what do you think are the most used social networks, but by the different age groups?
I recall when I was younger and we were like basically discovering all this internet, because when I was at school, when I was your age, for example, the experience were quite different. We had to connect like telephone to get the internet, and it was super slow. It was a whole dynamic. So we have seen somehow how this social media and internet as well has grown over time. I recall Facebook used a really important network for my generation, but as I have seen, it's not as important right now for your generation. For example, I believe that TikTok is somehow quite relevant for youngsters. Maybe Instagram. Facebook has gone to a second level, for example. People more, likely 30 to 40 years may use this platform, as well as LinkedIn. That's usually like, LinkedIn, for example, I guess he must be like 20, 25 till 50, because it is a professional network.
From what age do you think it's like advisable to have access to social media?
This is a tricky question, because having working with Twitter, I have been aware of a lot of risks that young people and children may be facing when using this kind of social media advice or without like any parental supervising. I would suggest, you cannot forbidden children or kids or people your age to stop using social media. This is not the reality or the context we are living, but I think it's really important for parents or guardians to make aware children and share the tools or share the knowledge upon how to use these tools properly.
Yeah. And what do you think are the most positive aspects of social media?
I think that it is quite interesting to be able to understand other points of view. I get that you may be like influenced to make contact or make connections with people that used to think the same way you do. But it's really interesting when you are open to social media and you are actually able to understand other people's point of view toward different topics. So I think that is a really interesting perspective we can approach media.
And the negative aspects?
Negative aspects is I have seen, like it has not been my personal experience, but I am aware that there are a lot of, how do you say it? You may see like a lot of things on social media that are not based specifically on reality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these kids having amazing lives or traveling all over the world. I think there must be some kind of awareness that social media is also a tool that lets itself to be used to show some other type of fake realities. And I think that children or kids sometimes get drawn by this style of life that other people have. So it can create a lot of insecurities. So it's also really important, related to the question that you asked me before, for parents to raise awareness and make the children, let the children know that sometimes this is not like something to be worried about or to create frustrations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how do you think like the parents could do that in a better way? Like,
basically, I think it is all related to the basics, communication. And communication is not only related when it comes, is not also related to social media. Now it comes to other aspects of life. So I think that basically is communication and openness. I think that as long as you are able to talk to your kids or to your children openly about the benefits and the risks of social media, it would be better, like, to build some kind of like understand the right way to use it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but also like the parents, they don't understand how. There's a lot of parents that don't understand how that actually works. What do you think would be like a way to give that information to the parents so they can pass it to their children?
I think it's about engagement, and keep in mind that communication is not only parents telling their kids what to do, but it's also kids expressing themselves and what are their interests or what they want to do, what they like to do. Also exploring social media, I think is like a really interesting step to take with parents, explaining them how to use tools. Sometimes, for example, my dad would say, like, I don't know how to use this WhatsApp, but suddenly he has been aware that it has some features or some tools that is interesting for him because it can connect himself to his daughter who's traveling all over the world, for example. So when it comes to new social media, TikTok or something like that, I think that is also it's a matter of engagement and open communication. I think that your parents probably would be really interested in what you are doing if they know that you like it or are interested in that somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Like, what is your personal use of social media outside your work? Like, yeah.
Outside my work, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter. I'm not an active user, honestly. I usually use both Facebook and Twitter to be aware of some kind of news. I'm not living in Colombia right now, so for me it's really like the best way to get access to information regarding, I don't know, politics, or right now, for example, with elections, I get instant information with Twitter, also Facebook. And as I told you before, when it comes to understanding other people's point of view regarding certain topics, for me it's really important Facebook, because I can see some relatives or close friends that probably don't think the same way I do regarding certain topics, but for me it's important to understand this perspective. So Facebook in that sense is really interesting, as Twitter. And Instagram is basically because I like to relax also. So I enjoy following accounts that have some kind of content that is interesting for me from an aesthetic perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, what is your personal strategy for managing your time with social media?
Well, it depends on how it's somehow like a paradox, but it depends on how embedded I am in my actual work. If I am like too focused in things that I have to do on my work or either at studying, like I recently was, then I forget absolutely about social media. If I am distracted or if I start procrastinating, it's really easy for me to go and follow and spend a lot of time on social media. So it's not that I have like an active way to address it, but it comes more if I am like distracted or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Do you think social media has a different effect like for different genders?
I think that is not specifically gender-based, the impact that it can have. I think it's intersectional. Of course, sometimes it can influence gender dynamics, but I don't think it's the only dimension which social media can impact.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the last question is, what questions do you think would be important to ask if I want to learn more about this topic?
The first question is how to do it safely. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes children or kids are not aware of the risks, and sometimes parents have not like the best way to communicate them, and sometimes it's like my mom doesn't let me do that, but I don't like it. Why is she saying that to me? And it's so annoying. But sometimes like they have like some kind of understanding about all these things. So I think it is important for kids also to have awareness of the risks. And also I think that it's really, really important to have like understand how it affects self-esteem, for example, because it's really easy to get drawn by things you see that you may not have, and you can get frustrated by that. So it's really important to have like a context of what social media actually means.
Mm. Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time. We're running out of time. It says here.
No, but thank you so much for your invitation and for having me here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's all. Bye.